starting in that midday mission. I wanna smoke this one and that one and oh yeah, this one. Smells got my nose hairs gigging today. Smoke fire right up front to leaf and the whole thing is gone. Bye.
You know that I know that you know that I like to smoke. You know that I know that you know that I like to smoke. You know that I know that you know that I like to smoke. Yes, you know that I know that you know that I like to smoke. I like to smoke. I like to smoke. When we pull up in your town, get to burning it down. High grade sound, mendo dope. Yeah, I like to smoke. I love it. I like to smoke. When we pull up in your town, get to burning it down. High grade sound, mendo dope. When I wake up in the morning, I roll one. When I hit the studio, I roll one. When I walk into my garden, I roll one. Pull out the world's biggest backwood for the home run. Tonight we getting lit. Cannagar from Bud Smith. Temple ball of hash, Frenchy cannoli twist. Miss me with that other, yo strain is looking hopeless. Green shock, we got that royal dopeness. Cannabis mixing up my doja. Terpenes, flavor and aroma. It's Croptober and I'm swimming in weed. I want the stickiest green and hella lemonine. Orange turpentine, I certainly will keep it in my personal stash. A 3rd degree burn. Pulling out the fire, I'ma break it down, roll it up, spark it with the lighter, I burn. Fresh jars I refill. Every day is like a smoke box, what be real? Mendo dope band burning it down. So put your hands to the sky for the high grade sound and say, I like to smoke. I like to smoke. When we pull up in your town, get to burning it down. High grade sound, mendo dope. Yeah, I like to smoke. I like to smoke. When we pull up in your town, get to burning it down. High grade sound, mendo dope.
I be on the pop, but I ain't talking shit. I smoke the finest weed you can't get. Thankful for Jah that I got some friends. I smoke a joint and then smoke one again. I like to smoke with my girl late at night. I like this beat and these vibes are so tight. I'll smoke one with you if you smoke one with me. I heard that you grow some fire ass tree.
You know that I know that you know that I like to smoke. You know.
Oh. What's up, everybody? How's it going?
What's going on?
Happy Top Shelf Tuesday. I'm Big V.
I'm Zach.
Jeremy.
Now you know us all. Hey, what's going on? We're going to dab in. What are you guys dabbing with? I'm doing a little white truffle still. I'm about out of it, though. I think next week I'm going to have some frozen bag in here. What do y'all got?
I was going to see if I can grab a little of that white truffle there.
There it is, man.
Thank you, sir.
The live white truffle.
Okay. I think this is live, too, but I don't know.
Ooh, white truffle.
I put mine in some weed.
Did you just bring that?
Yeah.
That's been here.
Yes, sir.
What's up, everybody? What are you dabbing in with? Sorry, we're not trying to ignore you guys, man. We just kind of, man, so much going on. It's really cool. Look, we got the plants back here. I want to start having plants up here, man. You know, I'll put that on silent.
Oh, yeah.
I want to start having plants up here, you know, and
Fresh pressed purple Zilla.
yeah, all that. Bring that grow vibe. So we had a great show today. We got some really good giveaways. We still got some Sugar High gear to give away, or at least some some tickets to the. Hey, throw that up. Let's talk. Well, no, wait. Sorry, we're gonna wait a minute. But we got some Sugar High stuff and to give away. We got some AOD cannabis and pre-rolls and dab and some clones and all kinds of stuff to give away, man. So we're gonna be giving some stuff away today, and we're also gonna be giving some knowledge away. So one of the things we do is we grow weed. Believe it or not, we grow cannabis. All of us do. Okay.
Absolutely.
Some of us grow better than others. Some of us grow better than others. So no, but really, we all grow cannabis, and the whole reason we even started this was to teach people how to grow cannabis. That's why I started the KC Grow Coach way back before AOD was even a thing, or way back before we were even making our own soil or anything. I was doing the KC Grow Coach, and then I did that on the on the home grow series for Evolution.
Yep.
And I was invited to come do the grow series on there. And so I did that for a little while they were doing that. And that turned into this. So what we're going to do today,
Gotta catch your breath.
pardon me, a little dab will do you. So what I want to do is I kind of want to go back and relive a little bit of that stuff. And we're going to start today just with a little growth series, okay? And who knows how long it's going to take to go through. But what we're going to do is we're going to start talking about what I want to cater to right now is I want to cater to the individual home grower that has either started growing and is like finding out they've gotten in over their head, or they don't really have all the answers, and they're struggling a little bit, or somebody that's never really grown and is sitting there going, hey man, I think I might like to grow. Or maybe you've grown outside and you want to move inside. We're going to start just like y'all don't know nothing. And I know all you guys know so much and already know everything you need to know about growing indoors. But I think there's some people out there that might not know. And so what we're going to do is we're going to start talking today. We're going to start with figuring out your environment, your room, your space, everything you need, your equipment and all that, and really counting the costs on whether or not you want to start growing your home cannabis. It kind of prompted because I've got a friend who's recently had some life changes, and he called me up and he says, hey V, got my own place coming. Nice. I'm going to be able to grow. You know, he moved out of his house. He was in a rental for a minute. He talked to the landlord, got permission to grow there. So we started planning. I ordered everything and I got it at home. Ordered him a 4x8 tent and a couple lights and everything he needs to start growing. Nice. And I got it home. And then he's like, hey bro, I went ahead and just bought a house. And I know we can't all do that. And that's not what this is about, but, he was able to buy a house. And so now he doesn't need to worry about permission. So I'm on hold right now, but here in a couple weeks, I'm going to go over and I'm going to set up this grow. And I want to set it up, and I want to use it here on the show as an example. So I want to get us there to that place, and then I want to actually go set up this grow and get my homie growing and all set up, and yeah, show everybody what it looks like to go from nothing to a grow, and hopefully we'll be able to log it out all the way through.
That'd be cool.
So we're going to start with that today about assessing your situation. Should you grow? Should you not grow? That's the question. What are some things to think about? Counting the costs and starting strong. That's what I want to talk about today on Artisans of Dank's Home Grow Series. Counting the costs and starting strong. So, yeah, we'll get to that in a few minutes after we screw off for a little bit, man. So, what's going on? We got some things going on in the community we want to talk about.
Yes, we do. We got some events coming up.
What events?
Well, the one closest to us, the Sugar High Christmas Party.
That'll be fun.
The Sugar High Christmas Party.
That is coming right up.
1820, right?
Yep, that's at 1820 Gallery. It was going to be, now the location's moved. It was going to be at KC Kush, but that has changed. We needed a bigger venue. We've had so much response. Andy's Sugar High, this is his deal. I kind of stepped in a little bit because he needed a little bit of extra assistance, doing things. Because it takes a lot to plan this event, And hey, our surround is still green, bro.
It is.
It don't look bad, actually.
It doesn't.
Anyway, so I got in there kind of, figuring out things, and, we've got a lot of people showing up. A lot of hype, a lot more than was expected. So the venue's been moved from KC Kush, where it was going to be partially inside and mostly outside. Now it's going to be all inside, which in December, that's beautiful. Yeah. And it's a consumption. It's at the Oh my God, I can't
18,
believe
what?
1820 gallery. Is that 1820 gallery, or otherwise known as
The tree room.
the tree? Is
Well,
it the tree room?
Is that, that's
Yes.
the one, right? Yeah. I think so.
And it's at 1820 McGee Street,
yes.
downtown
Yes.
Kansas City.
I kept thinking 2.0 because of the page switch. Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna be at the tree room. You guys, most of you know where that's at. If you don't, it's not hard to find. It's at 18th and McGee, downtown Kansas City, Missouri, the Arts District. It's a great location. It's a beautiful venue.
Yep.
Yeah, it couldn't ask for a better place. And I see Sugar High on there now. It's going to be lit, brother. It's going to be lit. Throw that up again. So let's talk about this. So you know what? I want to give a huge shout out to Daniel Nelson and those guys out at Kansas City Cannabis Company. They've supported everything we do from the beginning. We all know my stance on the industry, but these guys are an exception to the rule, I think. They are hometown people, and they are hometown proud, and they're doing a great job. They've always stood behind us. They've always got in there and supported what the community needs and wants. They were the first people to bring FICO on the line, okay, back when medical first went, and we were all bitching, and we were all like, what the fuck? Why is there no FICO? This is medical cannabis. So, and somehow, I can't remember how, I got connected with Forrest and Daniel Nelson out here at Kansas City Cannabis, and we started talking about things. And they worked with, they got a hold of Coco Labs, and they worked with Brooke from Coco Labs and everything to get FICO on the shelves for $1. $1 a gram, okay? $1. If you had a low-income card, FICO was $1 a gram. I don't even.
And it was cost if you didn't.
It was cost if you didn't.
Yeah.
And it was $1 a gram if you had a low-income stamp on your card. Look, man, you can't get any more real than that, okay? So I'm down with these guys. We love them. We're so glad. I'm so glad to see them jumping in here and supporting us. Daniel's promised me he's going to have some really cool products to give away. Excited about that, Ignite Academy, okay? Look, if you guys want to learn how to kick people's ass, get over here to Ignite Academy. I believe it's over here in Liberty or somewhere like that. And they're a MMA, I think Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu maybe, and whatever. I don't know exactly. That's Andy's deal. He's the one that's all up in that. But if you want to learn to kick someone's ass, these guys are supporting the cannabis scene, and we love them. So Nug Life, of course, we all know Nug Life Clothing. He's going to be out there. And huge shout out to Overgrowth KC, too, who came on board, okay? If you look over there, Overgrow KC is kind of a new grow shop up here in the Northland.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, if you guys don't know about it, over there off Parvin and North Brighton, okay? This is my stomping grounds, right over by Alter Ego Motorcycle, brother. Yep. There used to be one of my favorite Mexican restaurants, the Alamo, used to be in there. And when I was 5, there was a TG&Y there when I was 5. Okay. Or 6, and a bunch of us kids walked up there, and I stole a baseball glove.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And, so Mark Duncan ragged me out. His mom called my mom. My mom made me take it back.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I got a lot of trouble for that. So that was the end of my stealing career.
Yeah, I bet.
Learned a lesson. But anyway, so... It's right in there in that shopping mall, the little strip mall right there by where TG&Y used to be if you're old school Northland. But it's a Parvin Road and North Brighton, okay? I'm going to go in there this week because I'm curious to see what they got, and I need some compost and some other stuff. So shout out to Overgrow KC, new grow shop in the Northland. Nasty Glass. Nasty Glass, Danny Kennison and his crew, they're going to be out there. They're going to have a booth. I'm sure they're going to have a dab bar in normal fashion. Well, I'm not sure. I would assume. Okay? I would assume they're going to have a dab bar because they always do.
Yeah.
So, yep, you're not going to want to miss that. And then what is the one beneath it? I can't even read that.
Can't either.
Okay, so that place, whatever it is. And I'm going to give a huge shout out right now. I see her on here. Ashley Turner and Budsies has just come on board.
Nice.
She's going to be there. She's going to be managing the stage and doing some other stuff. So Ashley Turner, we appreciate her. She's been a blessing in the scene and in the community, and she's always ready to get in and get involved and bring that vibe. So Budsies is going to be there for sure. Gallo Green Farms, Anthony Gallo and Jessica Gannon.
Nice.
Gallo Green Farms is going to be there. If you don't know who they are, they're actually opening a THCA dispensary in Orick, Missouri. So
Okay, that's right.
get out there and see those guys. Don't panic, it's organic. Who's that? I can't read what's in the middle of that.
Can't read that either from here.
So you guys read that. And get a little hard for me to read coming from here. Herbal Refreshments is going to be there. Huge shout out to them. Nothing Like Homegrown is going to be there. Nothing Like Homegrown, they're also going to be on the show.
All right.
Is it next Tuesday? It's the 7th, I believe.
Yep, I think that is Tuesday after, I think.
Okay, no, they're going to be on the Tuesday before the Christmas party.
So that'd be the 3rd then.
So Tuesday the 3rd, Nothing Like Homegrown is going to be here. They're going to chill with us and sesh. Herbal Refreshments is coming on board AOD as a once a month sponsor for the giveaways. Next week, they're going to sponsor. That will be their first sponsor for the giveaway. And again, they're going to be here at some point before long. What's the next date on the calendar of our show? What do we got
We
here?
have one the 26th.
Yeah, that's when they're going to be here.
Next week.
They're going to be here next week, the 26th. Herbal Refreshments are, and they're going to be sponsoring the giveaways. Throw that up there. We got some hoodies, some slaps, some other stuff there that I don't know what it is. It's in a little package. Couple pins. Yeah, so we've got that, and we're going to be giving that swag away next week, and they're going to be here as guests. So that'll be really cool.
In studio.
Yeah, who else? I ain't done. Who else is on there? I can't read it from here. If
I got it
can't
up
see
right here. So
Okay.
we got Fubars.
Fubar? What the hell is it? What's Fubar? I should have done my homework, but
yep.
you guys know me. Okay, let's move on. Who's the Don't Panic, It's Organic?
That is Peaky's Organic Titans.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Isley Lane. Oh, get out of here. I'm not even going to say your name. I'm just kidding. Look, we love her. Jessica Simpson. I just called her Jessica Simpson.
Wow.
Nothing like Jessica Stevenson. I'm sorry, Jessica. She'll chew my ass out later. She's a fire. She's a pistol. Love her to death. Isley Lane. So Isley Lane is, if you need T-shirts made, if you need hats made, I think she can do hats, but I know she can do T-shirts, she can do mugs, she can do all kinds of shit, and it's professional. This is her gig. She's going to be hosting the ugly Christmas sweater competition. So I'm going to win it with my Willie Nelson Christmas sweater.
There you go.
But no, you guys all wear your ugly Christmas sweater, okay? Because your ugly Christmas sweater is going to win you some prizes, okay? So Higher Love, we all know, look, Higher Love is going to be out there. They're jumping on board here. Mm-hmm. They're great guys. You know what? I believe they got a micro. I don't know how that worked out. I know they were having some trouble with some of the logistics of it, but I know they did win a micro, but we'll see. Yeah, let me jump back to herbal refreshments, okay? They are an infused refreshment company. Their big thing is drinks, I believe. So, you know, that's what I gather, but we're going to learn all about them next week. Who's all the way down on the blue side there?
The blue side?
Yeah.
That is Donnie's Tsunami?
Donnie's Tsunami. Okay, you know what? I promise you we're going to learn and who all these people are by next week, and we can give
And
you a
there's
better
also
rundown.
The Nerdy Blacksmith.
The Nerdy Blacksmith. Dave Stevenson is not the Nerdy Blacksmith. I wonder who the Nerdy Blacksmith is.
I don't know.
I only know one blacksmith.
I know Dave Stevenson.
I know Dave Stevenson.
He is a nerd. Well, he's nerdy. He's not a nerd. He is a little nerdy. I love you, Dave. I know he's not watching this, but his wife might be.
He is an engineer. You kind of got to be
He's an engineer.
You got to be a little nerdy to be an
He's an
engineer.
engineer, and he is a
Speaking of
blacksmith.
nerds, happy birthday, nerd.
Who?
I can't even say.
Okay. Your daughter?
Her husband.
Okay, get rid of that. All right, guys. So, yeah, that's going to be cool.
Yeah.
You're going to want to come out. We're going to have a dab bar. We're changing the name of Bee Cookies to Christmas Cookies for the event. So you're going to be able to dab Christmas cookies. It's really bee cookies, but it's spicy and sweet, and it tastes like Christmas, honestly. When I dab, not smoking the flour, but the other day when we whipped that bee cookie and we dabbed that shit, it tasted like Christmas cookies. You know, the spicy little Christmas cookies.
Yep.
It tastes so good.
And it put me on my ass.
I think that's like one of your most medicinal strains that you have.
Oh, dude.
In rosin form.
In rosin
flower form.
I don't know, dude. It's something, dude, because it's an indica, but yeah, you want to get up and do shit, so it's kind of weird. But anyway, I love it.
In the yard.
We're also going to have an OG blend for y'all to try. We've got some.
That OG blend never disappoints either.
Oh yeah. I don't have any. I'm not going to have any of the frozen bag, but I do have LA Pure Kush. I have what?
You have any Nano left?
Nana Sorbet. I do have Nana Sorbet. So we'll have a nice little selection of you guys to dab on while you guys come out there, and of course, free. And we are going to have Dave, our nerdy Dave, our nerdy blacksmith, but he's going to be our press man. We're going to bring the press out, and if you guys bring some nug, we're going to press it for you. So we're not even going to charge you for it. We're going to press it, huh?
I always like those.
Well, and you know what? We're going to press it, and we're going to be talking about pressing nug, what it's all about, kind of educating you guys. And, you know, there's some things coming up this next year that you might want to be, you might want to start getting your nug on so that you can get the best variety that presses and all that stuff. Yes, Dank Dave Stevenson. However, Rachel, out of respect for Dank Dave down in Joplin, we don't call him Dank Dave Stevenson anymore. It's Damn It Dave, respectfully, because there's another Dank Dave already down there, and he's been Dank Dave for a while. And you know how we are. We don't want to like be dicks.
Right. So this is
Damn It. He's very cool, dude. He put on the hash bash this year.
Oh yeah,
actually.
that's right.
So yeah. So anyway, and I'm just going to go throw this out here right now. New Year's Eve party.
Oh yeah.
Throw that up. Let's go to that. New Year's Eve party here, 2025, the Tree Room, KC. It's supposed to be off the chain, okay? Not your normal cannabis event. No vendors. I'm doing the dab. Well, AOD's doing the dab bar. And we're hoping to have a roaming dab. What do we call her? Anyway, a roaming dabster. Okay, we're looking to have a roaming dabster walking around with the Rio, dabstress or dabster, whichever one we have. A dabs them, whatever comes along.
That reminded me of that joke.
Fuck, dude, I don't even know. Don't, dude. The jokes I tell in private stay in private.
Oh, it's
okay.
staying in my head.
So that's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to want to definitely be there to get some of those dabs, and we're going to have a big announcement on New Year's Eve. We're not saying anything until New Year's Eve, but we're dropping hints.
Yeah.
Dropping hints. Can you guess what's going to happen?
Guess you'll have to be at party to find out.
Year of the Dank. So anyway, huh? What? I can't hear you.
What did you say?
What did you say? Anyway, so yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Oh, man. Oh, I thought you were talking about Jelly Roll, Crystal. Bumpkin replying to Mary Bolliard. Oh, okay. Fuck you. Talk to me, man. All right, Ashley. Hashtag Dank 2025. The year of Dank. Okay? And our goal for 2025 is to put the unity back in community. Mm-hmm. If you ain't down, you're a fucking clown. Get out. And also, I'm going to vent a little bit because it's my style. Listen, don't come to me and tell me that you are all about community. Don't come to me and tell me that you want to do things that includes the entire community and the grassroots community, and that you won't tolerate any division in that community, and then turn around and fucking refuse to work with somebody out of a beef.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah, it's kind of...
Grow the fuck up. Okay? Just don't do it. Don't come to me and say, hey, we want this, and then turn around and say, no, not if they're going to be there. Okay, whatever. Fuck off then. You lose. Okay? Because that's just where I'm at. So I'm going to drop that right there and let that hang around and simmer. Anyway, we want to put the unity back in community. We have an amazing community here on the west side of this state. We hit the ground running. We blew up. I think things just went fucking crazy. Everybody's head got in it. Everybody's ego got in it. And everybody clashed. And we are all ready for the love to come back. And we want to help with that and do our part. You know, and so that's where we're at. And so nothing but love. Okay?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's kind of ass backwards if you ask me. How could you want to work with the whole community but exclude people in the community?
Doesn't make any sense. So we're not going to cash that check. Anyway, we are going to have a fucking blast in 2025. And yeah, eventually we're probably going to take this show back to the evening, but we're going to talk about that later too. I'll just drop that out there. That is not the big news that I'm talking about. We've got some big news coming up at the first of the year.
Some even bigger news.
Yes, sir. So yeah, what else have we got event-wise? Anything going on?
That's all I got flyers for. I'm sure there's a couple. If I remember correctly, there was a smoke and paint or something like that?
Yeah, you know what? I probably should do a better job of rounding up. Hey, you know what? Y'all know somebody that's having an event or something, and you think that they could benefit from us shouting them out? Let us know.
Yeah.
We're just going to shout them out. We don't want nothing for it. We're not trying to get paid, none of that shit. We're just trying to build a community. You know, we want everybody who's having an event to have their platform. You know, so yeah, let us know. What's that?
It's Taco Tuesday at the Tree Room.
All right. Hey, Ashley, there's some changes going on there. But I'm not sure. But yeah, I know they had Taco Tuesday. You know what? That brings me to remind. I was going to go down to the Tree Room to watch the Tyson fight.
Did Netflix mess up, or did they?
I don't know. Hey, anybody who was at the Tree Room in here watching the Tyson fight, did their Netflix fuck up?
Mine was like 30 minutes behind my daughter's. My daughter and her boyfriend were watching it in their bedroom, and we were watching it out in the living room. And they walked out, like, as the fight was starting, they're like, it's done. We're just like, what?
Right. Let Netflix know you need a free month. No,
well,
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about Netflix. Anyway, I'm just going to say, fuck that fight, okay?
Oh, that was...
Fuck that fight. Now, the second fight, those two were brutal, man. They beat the shit. The chick fight, that was brutal,
I missed
man.
it. I missed
The
it.
first one wasn't bad.
But I'm here to tell you, dude, you know what? We can all see, all of us know that Mike Tyson laid down after the second round and just quit. He stood there, whatever. Anyway, you know what? I'm not going to hate on the dude. You know, he made his money.
Yeah.
Did what he had to do after years of being exploited and fucking drained of his finances. He made his money. Yay, Mike. He's still the baddest motherfucker that ever walked as far as a boxer goes.
That brings me to a point.
What?
Didn't Zach
Sharpner?
say that he wants to fight Jake Paul?
Oh yeah.
Zach did.
I'm pretty sure. My money's on Zach against
Yeah,
Jake
so.
Paul.
Zach said he wants to fight Jake Paul.
If you say so.
He's got this. Who do we need?
But in the contract, Zach's allowed to kick in the balls and Jake Paul's not.
Yeah, there you go.
So Zach's going to fight Jake Paul.
One hand
And
tied
Zach
behind
can
back.
also tap out.
I can tap.
Zach can tap.
Okay, I'm
Zach,
done.
no, Zach can, it's like you know what? I
He
think
gets $2 million no matter what.
that's what I'm saying. We should have a tag team against Jake Paul.
All right.
Okay, there we go. A tag
Fuck
team.
yeah, AOD against Jake Paul.
Okay.
We get weapons,
Game.
huh?
Game. I ain't here for that.
Okay, now are we talking there was a good question on there. That was an MMA match. Now, if it was just boxing, I don't know about that.
That was a boxing match.
Oh, I know, but I'm saying this new match we're talking about here. If it's MMA, I might be a little more game for it. I'm not.
I'll do MMA.
Yeah,
I'll do
I'm not
MMA all day, bro.
I'm not too keen on boxing.
I go either way. Because, boxing, they're under the same rules as you.
True. Very
MMA,
true.
you don't know what's coming at you unless you got them. But here's the thing, dude. Look, whatever. He made his money.
Oh yeah.
He did.
He made his money. I can't hate him
That
on
man
that.
did what he needed to do.
He flat, Jake Paul flat sit and said, hey, you know what? All this shit's fixed anyway. And he ain't lying. I mean, at some point, somebody's making a bunch of money on that shit. So, why I don't really get into sports too much. But anyway, I just said, fuck Jake Paul.
Yeah.
I say that. Fuck Jake Paul.
Fuck Jake Paul.
Fuck Jake Paul.
Zach. Fuck Jake Paul.
Yeah.
Zach will kick your ass, Jake. I know he will. He's scrappy, man. He might be small, but he's scrappy.
When we were watching it, we were looking at it, and his brother, can't remember his name, but his brother, whatever, looks exactly like my neighbor.
Dude, I'll put
Mullet and everything. I was just like, wow.
Jake Paul, bro.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll put that kid at the gym up against Jake Paul. Austin's son.
Oh, okay, right.
Fucking 12-year-old. I'll put him up against Jake Paul.
Yeah.
He just won the regional fucking
All
wrestling
bullshit
champion.
aside. All bullshit aside. I've seen Zach take down a cougar.
Yeah. How old was she? Anyway, we better just move right on off of this shit. So, but hey, you know what? Do we have a video or anything to watch or anything like that before we start talking about growing weed?
We got the little devil's lettuce stuff.
Oh yeah.
This little commercial.
Yeah, let's throw him a bone out there. Give shout out to Devil's Lettuce, man.
Yeah.
Boom, Devil's Lettuce. You know what? That's the testing lab for the home grower right there. Mm-hmm. Man, if you're a home grower and you just kind of want to see where your shit's at, get a hold of him. He'll come out, he'll test it. He'll give you results that it's online, they're there, you can always have them. You can print them off, whatever.
Legit.
Yep. He's as legit as he can get without spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to build a lab. So yeah,
right.
So I think he did a good job. I don't have any problem with what Devil's Lettuce is doing. So
No.
right on. And so with that, I think get your pens out, get your paper out if you need to take some notes. We're going to talk a little bit in depth about growing, and so we want to talk about. You don't grow. You're sitting there and you're going through Facebook and you're like, man, all this looks really cool, man. This looks really cool. I'd love to grow my own weed, and you're like, that'd be just fucking a bomb, to grow your own weed. And I remember when I was there, okay? And I almost started growing out of necessity because back when I first started growing, just a couple years ago, weed was $400 an ounce for good cannabis, and you could barely get it. And good was relative, huh? $400 a fucking ounce out of California.
Oh.
Okay, well, that's it. That's the only place anybody you could really get good weed, because you couldn't get it around here unless you knew somebody, and there wasn't a whole lot of home growers that grew on the level of, that it really got around. So, most people were bringing it in from California or Colorado. Well, Colorado wasn't even legal when I started growing. So, it was coming in from California, $400 an ounce. I'm paying for this shit, raising 5 kids, having a, remodeling company, and I'm trying to make ends meet. And it's just like, good God, man. I barely have any month at the end of the money, it's just, it sucks. And here I am with, feeding 2 people smoking habits at well over an ounce a week. And I'm paying $400 an ounce for this shit, man. And I'm just like, what the fuck, man? I can't do this anymore, So
that's a mortgage.
You get some freaking brickweed to kind of help ease that, and you just can't even do that. It's just all kinds of shit you go through just to be able to afford your medication. So then all of a sudden I came along about some lights in kind of a cool way. Didn't really know what I had, and then I started looking around, reading through High Times and stuff, because I always read High Times back then. We're talking about back, around 2003. And then, I realized, wow, I got these lights. I could grow some pot.
Yeah.
Maybe not have to pay. So, and that's what so many people are wanting to do. They just want to grow in enough cannabis so that they don't have to pay for it, and they know what they're getting. So that's kind of what we're going to talk about, and when I had those lights, now I was reading through High Times when I realized what I had, because I saw pictures and I'm like, oh wow. And I had just required these from a clean out, basically from a house that was going through a clean out. And I kept them because I knew they must be good for something. Didn't know what they were. I was going to use them for my tomato plants to start, because literally I grew tomatoes and eggplant and cucumbers and all kinds of shit outside my garden all summer. So I was going to use them to start my seedlings. So, but then I got on a forum out of High Times. It sent me to a forum called breedbay.uk. It's in the UK. It was an online forum, and I went there and I started reading the forum. I started asking questions, and I started learning that there's a lot more to this.
Right.
Because I'm a count the cost guy. I don't mind diving into a pond, but I want to make sure there's not a broken off stump, right? 2 feet beneath the surface. That's the kind of guy I am, right? So I always count the costs in everything I do, and I take calculated risks, okay? So I got in this forum, and I started learning how to build this room, and I started learning where I fucked up at. And I've been through a lot of trial and error, because back in the day we didn't have all this information at our fingertips. You couldn't just get online and look up a pot growing podcast or anything like that. So
couldn't Google how to grow weed.
And that's one of the things that motivates me to do this now, is because I want it to be easy for people. So what do you think? Let's jump into it. What do you think, Jeremy, is probably the first thing you would do if you felt like you wanted to grow some weed? What do you think? What would be your first?
Well, you're going to need a combination of many first objects. Not many. You're going to have at least 4, I'd say 3 or 4 minimum things that you're going to have to start with. You're going to have a pot. I prefer fabric. You run a little different than I do on soil, of course, a seed, a light source.
And so to me, you're way ahead of the game. You're way ahead of the game.
Already jumped
already. I'm just saying, because what I want to do is I want to bring it down. And no, you told me exactly what I wanted to hear. Okay. But
that's where
I want to bring that into a place, because that's where most people are. I mean, the questions I get, hey man, I want to grow weed. What light do I need? And I'm like, well, okay. And I start asking questions. Well, I don't know. Well, I don't know. Well, I don't know. It's like, so why are you already at a light?
Right.
You're already getting you a light. You don't even have a fucking place to grow, dude.
You need to determine that growth space first.
To me, the first thing that you have to do is decide you want to grow weed, and then get on somewhere and talk to people about what it takes to grow weed. And anybody that says, oh, nothing, it's easy, go away from those and go to somebody that'll tell you the truth, okay? Growing weed is easy, okay? Growing cannabis that's going to make it worth your while to grow isn't as easy, okay? You need to determine, first of all, where you're going to grow at.
Yep.
Okay. Where are you going to put your grow? Do you have a room you can dedicate to the grow? Are you going to need to use a tent? Is it going to be in a basement?
Okay.
And so you need to determine where you're going to put your grow.
So where's a good one not to put your grow? So we can narrow it down a little better from that.
Well, I mean, there's really no, I'll say that unless your attic is finished, well insulated, and has its HVAC on point, I would never grow in an attic. Now, back in the day, we didn't grow in the attics because our house would be the first house in the neighborhood to have the snow melt off of the roof, and everybody would, and it would be steaming, and everybody knows you're running HIDs in there, you know. So anybody who knows anything knows. And so the next thing they're doing is hitting you with a heat signal, okay? And that was very real, very real. And so we didn't grow in the attic. But today, because of climate, the attic is very hot in the summer, very cold in the winter. It is the most susceptible to climate change unless it is very well insulated. So mark the attic off of your list unless you have a finished attic. Mark it off the list. Wouldn't even go there. So, and then where I would start, quite honestly, is the basement. Because the basement is the easiest place to keep your climate. Mm-hmm. If you have a basement that you can use and you have a space that will suffice in your basement, that's where I recommend setting up your grow under a few conditions. If the basement is leak free or any leaks are managed so that the basement's not musty and the basement doesn't get mildew and stuff like that. If you go in the basement, it smells like a musty basement.
That's what your weed's going to smell.
You're not going to be growing in there. You can, but you don't want to smoke what you grow in there because it's going to have mildew and mold spores and shit all over it. You don't grow in a musty basement, okay? I've seen that mistake over and over and over again. You don't want to grow in a musty basement. The ideal place is in a finished part of the basement. Now, I grow in the basement, and I've built the grow rooms in the basement. I have framed in the walls, insulated the walls with closed cell insulation so black mold and mildew can't grow in the insulation. Mildew inhibiting barrier over that, and then drywall. Zach helped me do it the whole way. So I put a lot of money into my grow room in my basement. That is an option. Most people I'm going to recommend are going to start off in a tent. You're going to start in a grow tent. And I'm going to say that the best place for you to start your grow in a grow tent, if you can, is to have it in a room that you can keep the climate in that room. Okay? Yeah. So a bedroom, a spare bedroom. If all you have is a closet, look, a closet works great.
Yeah.
Okay. I know people I just saw somebody comment her earlier that they grow in a small closet. I know people, it used to be back in the day, 3 by 3 by 4 closet space. I knew guys getting half a pound out of
Oh,
that, you know, in a small closet space, do a scrog, and, you know, they do a scrog in either ebb and flow or some sort of deep water culture, and so the plants grow big fast, and, you
Right.
know, so yeah, I mean, but that's all advanced techniques. So again, first thing you need to do is determine your space. Determine your space. Best case, in a spare bedroom that you can add an air conditioner to and a dehumidifier to and keep the climate of the whole room. Because keeping the climate in the tent, it's a lot easier to keep the climate in the whole room, and then that will bleed over into the tent because
Yep.
you're going to be circulating the air from the room into the tent.
Exactly.
So it'll all be the same air. And so if you have a bigger space to keep the climate, it's easier to keep the climate in a bigger space than inside a 5x5 tent. And you have the whole space in the tent on the floor to use for plants. Okay.
Okay, now would that be like a 5x5 with a split in the middle?
No.
Or can most people pretty much depend on if you want to keep going, you're going to have to double everything?
Well, that's down the line because right now you're just trying to get started. So you're going to get some seeds, you're going to plant them in there. You're going to use that tent to go from the beginning all the way up. If you need a separate veg space down the line, you can always get a little 3x3 tent, a little 2x4 tent, some small tent to get plants started. Because I know where you're going with that is keeping a rotation.
Right.
But dude, when you're first starting out, don't try to keep a rotation.
Right.
Yeah, down the road. But to just start out, you're going to want, and you know, you have to determine your environment and make sure you have a proper space to grow. If you only place you have to grow is in your basement possibly, and it's musty, that's okay. There's just work for you to do to get it ready.
Yes.
We need to do some cleanup. We need to do some moisture barrier. We need to do some stuff like that to get it ready to, it's not that you can't grow there, it just can't grow there in that specific condition.
Right.
So, you know, this is all stuff that before you even go, what size light do I use? You need to figure out if you have the space to grow. Okay, the next thing I want you to figure out, number two.
Well, real quick on
Go
back
ahead.
on the space. There's a couple other areas that. What are your thoughts on a garage?
You know, garages are nice if you keep the door shut. If you're going to be opening and closing the door all the time, you know, if it's summertime, you're fairly safe. However, you are opening yourself up to bugs, pollen, all kinds of shit. So now I know that I have to open my door, you know, sometimes, but, you know, because my grow is in a walkout.
Right.
So, you know, but, you know, honestly, if you're in the wintertime, dude, and you have to open that garage door and pull your car in, dude, cold is a real hard hitter on plants.
And I think it depends on your garage too, because like yours, you have a vent in your garage that vents from your house. My garage has no insulation and is not vented. In the summer, it's 100 and something degrees in there. In the winter, it's freezing.
Right, and that's just it. Garages are very hard to keep the climate unless you can section off that space.
Yes.
From the main garage area. Then a garage is just fine. But you're still always on an outside wall.
Yep.
At least one or two outside walls.
You're going to be dealing with the elements.
Yes, you have to insulate. You have to do some work in order to prep that area.
It's just a little more intensive to get. You can grow in a garage. You just got to do a little bit more work.
If you want it to be right. I know a lot of people just throw a tent in a garage and go for it. Okay? They just, boom, they get in there and they go. Do what?
Todd put down that he's in Todd Jarvis, he said, he's in a 2x4, 5-gallon cloth pots, outer room, but he's harvesting.
Yeah.
That brings up a good point. When you buy your tent, so depending on the site, depending on the tent, there's a lot of variables.
Throw that pin up.
Height is a thing. Like, don't cut yourself. I wouldn't go under a 6-foot tent.
Well, here's the
6
thing.
foot's kind of short because I'm like 6 foot.
And here's the thing with that again is going to be determined.
Right.
That's going to be determined by your specific abilities. If all you have is inside a little, under a little area that has a shelf above it,
Right.
and that's the only space you have, then maybe you need a 3-foot tall tent.
Right.
And you just have to grow accordingly. And whoever's guiding you should be able to guide you in that. So, but I agree with you. The taller the tent, the bigger the tent, the better. Okay. If you call me and you say, hey V, I need you to help me set up a grow, I'm going to say, okay, cool. Have you signed up for my grow coach course? And you're going to say, no, probably. And I'm going to say, okay, well, let's do that. And then I'm going to start guiding you in your grow. And I'm going to say, how big of a space do you have? What's the space like? See, I would follow through exactly what I'm doing now. And the guy that I'm getting ready to go set up the grow for, he can fit a 4x8 tent in the space he has. He's getting a 4x8 tent. He's getting the biggest tent he can possibly get for that space. And it'll be 7 foot tall, because you want to get the biggest tent you can possibly get for the space that you have. But if you only have 3 foot, bro, man, that's what you got. And I know some people that can grow some pretty good buds in a 3-foot tent. You get you that little Mars Hydro TSL 2000, and that little sucker sits right in there. It's about a 325 watt light. It's 2 foot long or 4 foot long, 2 foot wide, and you can get a good half a pound out of a 2x4 tent. You only grow the plant so tall, and yeah, just make sure your canopy's full. But so if you're going to use a tent, which I recommend for your first grow, using a tent. Yeah. Okay, and so that's what you're going to do, and get it.
That's funny.
Figuring out your space, figuring out where you're going to put it. Where can you vent that tent? If you're in a climate controlled room, you're just going to vent the tent into the room. Okay. And so let's talk about ventilation. You're going to want ventilation. You're going to want a fan and filter. Yeah, I'll do that one. Fan filter combo. I always recommend the AC Infinity because it's kind of automatic. So you got your fan and your filter combo, and this is going to be your exhaust fan. You're going to attach your fan directly to your filter if you can. And yeah, you're going to exhaust. Basically, you're going to pull the air out, because cannabis breathes carbon dioxide. Okay, and if you have a closed environment and you're not putting in CO2, you're going to deplete the CO2. So you need to exchange the air. CO2 is heavier than oxygen. You need to pull the air into the bottom of the tent. Heat rises, take the air out of the top of the tent. So you need a fan and filter. The charcoal filter is going to basically kill the stench. It'll break the odor.
It.
And the AC Infinity fans are as good as I've found. Okay, there are better ones on the market, but I don't think you need them these days unless you're living somewhere you're not supposed to be growing, and you just need to cover up the smell. You don't really need to worry about having, so many pounds of Australian carbon activated charcoal.
As long as you don't care about your neighbors knowing.
Dude, back in the day, I used to spend $500-600 on a carbon scrubber.
Oh, I bet.
I mean, just stupid money, just so that, I wanted to stick my face in that exit, that exhaust, and I wanted to smell nothing but clean hospital air coming out of that motherfucker, right, dude. Because you don't even realize. So
yeah. You said you don't need it. You don't need it if you don't want your neighbors. You don't need it if you don't care if
you really do need it, though, because your whole house will smell like weed.
Yes.
And it will permeate everything. So you're going to scrub that, and then you're going to have an inlet. I'm going to say, you want an inlet fan and filter also. Now, you can set that up differently with a different style filter. For those of you who are hot rodders or whatever, it looks kind of like the K&N cone filter for your cold air inject or your cold air intake. But yeah, so I have one. We'll be sending we'll be showing some footage of all this stuff later. So you definitely want to
on your hot rod.
got one there, but I got one down there on my, I got one down on my inlet on my grow room too. You want to draw the air in the bottom, across and up through the plants and out the top, and it pulls the heat out the top because heat rises.
Yeah.
It's a great system. And if you're going into a room that's climate controlled and you have that climate at 75, or you have it set so it stays at 70, 75 degrees, you're going to keep the whole area, even the inside the tent, 80, 75, 80 degrees probably, you know, if you don't try to
might be a couple degrees warmer.
Yeah. And I actually, if you can set the fan outside the tent, that's better because it's less heat. Although those fans don't use a lot of heat like the old school fans did. But yeah, so anyway, and then once you get that, you're going to need other fans. You're going to need little oscillating fans like that. Those clip onto the poles in the tent. They oscillate. They keep the air moving, help keep the carbon dioxide and the oxygen swirling so that you never get pockets anywhere. What else do we need?
Light.
Just a light. Then we can start looking for the light.
Yeah, you don't want no
Okay.
stale points in your room.
And there's your light. Now, I'm going to recommend that this is where you do not cut corners. If you're going to cut corners on anything, buy a little less expensive exhaust fan. Buy a little less expensive filter. Buy a little less expensive tent. Do not buy a little less expensive light, okay?
Yeah, the light's definitely not where you want to cut corners.
And well, there are lights that are not horribly expensive, but are still quality lights. But a lot of cheap lights, if you come out and say, hey man, I spent $90 on this light, man, I got a great deal, I'm gonna say throw it in the trash. Or put it over there in the veg area, or do something with it, you know.
And those little Amazon clamp lights that are like green and red, or red,
those don't
whatever.
grow plants.
Yeah, not at all. I learned from experience on those. That was when I first tried. I had a seedling that popped up. It grew about an inch and then fell over and died.
Don't buy string lights and rope them through around your plant so that they, you know. I mean, if you want to, that's cool. It'll look neat, but it's not going to grow good, solid buds. And that's the big thing is when I say count the costs of this up front, you're going to be putting a lot of time and a lot of effort into these plants. Okay? If you don't have at least an hour a day, and then every now and then a day or two, a full day, work day, to dedicate to your grow, then don't get started. Okay? And if you're going to try to grow so you're not having to pay the dispensary and the other, or your plug or whatever, then you have to grow a certain quality of cannabis in order to make that happen. And you can't do that cheaping out on everything. Buy a good light. I recommend for beginners, honestly, just go with it. You can get them fairly cheap now because there's new models came out, but you can still get the Fluence Spider 2i for, and I mean, they're down to like $650, $700 on some sites, okay? And you can get the newer models of Fluence also that are probably better lights, but these work great for me. I've got 15, 16 of them.
Now, let's say someone could do one plant and they had to stay under $100 for a light. What would the minimum wattage, not to get
Go to
into
the
wattage,
dispensary.
go to a dispensary,
Go to the dispensary, buy it, stay with your plug, don't waste your money.
save it.
If you can't spend that, see, that's just it. That's what makes this hard. If you can't afford the cannabis, you might not really be able to afford to grow. What I would do is I would look for secondhand shit. Get on some of these, swap pages. Go call your grow stores and say, hey, do you have a used light? Stuff like that. You can do that. But to me,
that's one thing cool about being in a rec state.
Minimal amount of light for any kind of grow at all.
You can find it.
I think
I'm going to say this. I have a Mars Hydro TS 1000. Okay, I believe it's. I don't even know what what's the wattage on the TSL 1000. I'm not even sure. Look that up. Look up wattage on Mars Hydro TSL 1000. Okay, and that will grow a 3x3 closet. That will grow you some good nug.
Wow.
What?
It told me to play music.
Said fuck off.
No, it's about to start playing
Well,
music.
when it comes to the light price, I think if you're wanting to spend under $300 on a light, you're going to go HPS, and that's going to end up costing you more in the long run. You're going to have to have extra fans.
Yeah, I don't
heat.
even, dude. I don't even. Look. I love
150?
$150.
150 watts.
150 watts. How much is it?
$90.
There
$90.
you go. There's your $100
There you
light.
go, dude. There's
There
your
you go.
$100 light, brother.
That's
That's
what
come
I was
down
trying to
because
get.
that was like $180 when I got.
So there you go. Under $100.
Yep.
This will rock out one plant.
It'll rock out. That'll rock out a 3x3 area, dude.
Will it?
Yeah, I bred my
Even better.
I bred my Carl's cake under that light, dude, and I had plants this tall, this big around, in that closet in my processing room.
Well, that stuff has
In the
got-
closet in my processing, yeah. And I got, I mean, I got solid nugs, man. It was good. So yeah.
What's that light again?
the TS 1000,
TS
And how
1000.
many watts is it?
150.
150 watts. Yeah. So
So I remember my first one, man. It was like a 20-pound
yeah,
light,
yeah,
white, individual spectrums, blending glass. I mean, it was a 20-fucking-pound light, dude.
right.
I think it was like $700.
Yeah. Shit's got cheap. So yeah, I mean, Joel, you know, 100 watt light. If you're not trying to use it over too much space, it'll probably get you a decent yield off of 1 or 2 plants. So yeah, I mean, you can start. That's why I say one of those small tents, one of those little lights like that. I mean, because that's a 3x3 closet, and that thing lit it up just fine, man. So yeah, you know, you can get some fairly inexpensive lights, but don't cheap out. You know, that's the thing. You know, don't cheap out.
Okay, so we might be jumping while we're there. Is there a difference between Mylar and just bright ass white walls?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
What's your opinion on
Mylar sucks.
Okay, it overburns, right?
Mylar gets hot spots.
Yep, there you go.
Okay,
That's kinda
Mylar,
what I
unless
was
it's completely smooth and clean, gets hot spots. White paint, Mylar is not even as, I don't think that it's as reflective as flat white paint.
Right.
Okay, now you can go into Sherwin-Williams, and I've said this a lot. You can go into Sherwin-Williams and you can get flat white paint that's high reflective flat white paint. Okay, and just paint your walls. That's best. That's what I use. So, but yeah. So anyway, you know, get the best light you can afford to get. Okay, and then because you're going to need to spend a little money, and then once you get your tent set up and everything's ready to go, and you've had it on, and you're going to need timer for your lights. You're going to need
Handful of little miscellaneous things.
power strip, some things like that. So, but I'm going to say that if you're going to get set up, you should be looking to spend with a small tent, a small light, a fan and filter, and everything you really need to have. And I'm talking about having a good setup, not a makeshift, throw shit together. I'm talking about having a setup that you can really grow some quality cannabis in. And then you can, after you harvest, you can close that thing down and dry and cure some quality cannabis in that same spot. You're going to be probably spending $600-700. And that's on the cheap. That's I wouldn't plan to probably spend less than that. You got a couple $100 for a tent, a couple $100 for fan and filter, a couple $100, for
And here's
all the
thing,
other
too.
stuff. The light's going to be, I would probably plan on budgeting, if you can, at least $300 for a light,
This is your time too. Like, if you can, invest in yourself.
Yeah.
Why not?
Well, and you figure, how many ounces does that have to pay for? That's the next question. How many ounces are you going to grow out of that? So, but you know what? We're going to cover all that shit later.
Right. I did want to. I know Jeremy touched on it briefly, but we did have one other picture up here. But he brought up pots. And
Yeah,
how you
bring
grow
that
with a
up.
different pot.
This is the pot this is what I grow in. And that's kind of spread out there. It's not, it's taller than it is long. Zach's got it in there to fit the thing. But this living soil pot from Grassroots, okay, if you see it, this is a cloth pot, but it has a plastic lining 2/3 of the way down. You can get rid of that. What that does is that keeps the soil up here from drying out from the outside in. It also keeps the water, when you water it, from running out the sides of the pot. It's basically a hybrid between a solid plastic pot, and then you've got the bottom half of the pot that allows for the roots to come out and the light pruning and, you know, yada yada, just like a cloth pot. To me, my yields went up when I started using those pots, and my watering issues went away. If you're only dealing with 2, 3 plants, okay, 5 plants, okay, but when you're dealing with a full caregiver grow plus veg, you know, and you're dealing with 40 some plants, you know, it kind of gets to be a pain in the ass to water every day just to make sure the edge of your pot don't get dry. So that's what I recommend, but you're going to have trays and all that shit. So I think we've given you a pretty good idea of how to count the costs and how to think about it anyway. You're still in thought.
Yeah.
So next week, we're going to do some giveaways here. Just a minute. So next week, we're going to talk about genetics, choosing the genetics, choosing your style of grow. Are you going to grow soil? Are you going to grow organic soil? Are you going to grow hydroponics? What kind of hydroponics? We're going to get into a little bit of all of it. So, and you know, we're probably, this next section is probably going to take a few weeks to go through because, you know, there's a lot of information on whether you grow organic, whether you grow salts in soil or soilless medium, whether you're growing in deep water culture, NFT, ebb and flow, aeroponics, undercurrent. I mean, I literally can go on for days about all this stuff. I personally grew deep water culture for several years. I grew ebb and flow. Hell, I built my first bubble cloner in 2010 because we were starting to do bubble cloners, and we got a little tray, cut the holes out in the top, put the little pucks in there, and
Pond pump.
put an air pump.
Oh, okay, just an air.
And air stone in it. All it did was it did like this. The air bubbles would come up and pop, and the roots set about that far above the water, and it would come up and pop all over the roots and keep it all moist. And I got great results with it. It's very easy. So,
Nice.
you know, I've done a little bit of everything. I've grown salts. I've grown soilless medium. Yes, I'm organic living soil now. But I am going to say that if I could grow organically in hydroponics and get the same results as I get in my soil, I would probably do it because of the yields. So anyway, thank you guys for hanging out with us. We're going to do some giveaways now, and give a bunch of shit away. What are we giving away first?
We want to do that trivia first.
Yeah, you know what? We do. This is something we're starting today. This was Jeremy's idea, and so we're going to do something a little different today. We want to start having our giveaways and our trivias and stuff like that. We want to have them educational. Mm-hmm. So what we're going to do is we're going to put up a leaf here, and we're going to the first person that can give us the most likely problem that this leaf is expressing will win the first prize. What's the first prize?
Is it this? Oh,
What?
Trailer Park Boy.
Trailer Park Boy genetics. This is for genetics. This is for Ricky's hash plant.
Yes.
Trailer Park Boys genetics. Because if you get this, you're a grower. So this is for the Trailer Park Boy genetics. So
Oh yeah.
we all know what the answer is, but do you? First person to get this answer. What's
First
wrong?
person we see.
Yeah, on our master board here. No, I did get
People
some.
already commenting, and it's not
Go
even
ahead.
up yet.
They don't count. Ready? Go.
Oh, there.
Boom.
It is.
What's wrong? The most likely problem with this leaf?
Let's see.
Do, 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 do.
Do, do, do.
Oh, we got a couple coming in.
Starting to come in. Nope, not yet. Nope. Nope. Not yet. Bam, right there.
Where's it at?
Matthew Holding, magnesium deficiency. You are the winner, brother. That is the telltale. Put that up there again. If you look at your leaves and they're yellowing out all around the serrated edge of the fan leaves, now this is, I believe, probably AI generated, but they start looking like this. If they already look like that, you've waited too long. You should have noticed this 3 days ago. But that's what the start of a magnesium deficiency looks like. So there you go.
All right, we can do some wheels.
You know what? We did do a wheel, didn't we?
Yeah, we've got 72 names on a wheel.
72 names on the wheel.
I'm gonna go head back to the wheel.
So Zach's going to go head back to the wheel. The first person on the wheel is going to win. Let's see. Your choice of cutting or clone, whatever you want to call it. 7 grams of Big V's high quality craft grown artisan cannabis, or a gram of rosin, and I'm going to say bee cookie today. So the first winner, huh? You know what? Yes. And if you're from Kansas City or you can make it, we're going to give these Sugar High tickets away, 2 of them. 2 of these Sugar High tickets to the Sugar High Christmas party. All right. And some Sugar High stuff, slaps and stuff like that. You get a little package along with your flour. And now I'm going to say this before I say, if you're from out of state, you're not getting flour or dab, brother, because I'm not going to federal prison for you. That's just the way it is. So we'll get you something else, though. Go for it. Let's do this wheel. All right, look at all those names. Bam. Flip it, Zach. Brandon P. Hannon. Are you here, Brandon? Okay, Brandon gets his choice of one of the 3 if he's here. Okay, spin it again. We're going to roll right on through these. The Canna Corner. Hey, are you guys on here right now? All right, the Canna Corner wins the same prize package. And we have 1 more of those to give away. 1 more of those packages to give away.
What do you want, Brandon? Are you local?
Brandon wants rosin work. Okay.
Nice.
Shoot us a message on the page, Brandon. Michaela Bird. Michaela Bird, are you on here, Michaela? Okay, you won that prize package if you're on here. Beautiful. All right, now. Dun, 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 dun. We're going to give away some pre-rolls.
All right, nice.
Let's give away some pre-rolls. Who wants a pre-roll? Spin it. Pre-roll. Pre-roll. Maybe a Fruity Pebble OG. I'm not sure what I'm going to do.
Oh, man, that'd be nice. I haven't got to try that yet.
Sandra Fast Horse. Are you here, Sandra? Spin it again. Number 2. Sandra Fasthorse, are you here for a pre-roll? Kyle Pasusta. Kyle Pasusta, are you here for a pre-roll? Spin it again. That's number 2. This is number 3. Number 3. Christy Ledford. Are you here, Christy? Christy Ledford for a pre-roll. Number 4. This is our 4th pre-roll we're giving away today. Jeremiah Spencer, are you here, brother? That's number 4. We got one more. Jeremiah Spencer, are you here? Hey, Cannon Corner, shoot us a message on our page. We'll get figured out how to get you your win. All right, one more. Let's do it. This is the last pre-roll. Then we're going to the Captain Redbeard. Leanne Ybarra. Leanne Ybarra. Are you here, Leanne, for your pre-roll? Hit us up. Everybody who won today, shoot us a message to the our page and say, hey, I won a pre-roll. Hey, I won the main giveaway, whatever. Hey, I won the Ricky seeds, the Trailer Park Boy seeds. So, Leanne, what's up? Awesome. Shoot us a message, Leanne. We'll get you a pre-roll out. I think I'm going to do, I don't know. I have to see what I have already to put up over there. So, all right. So we have one more wheel to do today, and that's going to be the Captain Redbeard seeds. 2 more Captain Redbeard seeds we're going to give away. 2 more packs. And we're narrowing that down. Let's do it. We've got how many names left? Okay. Darren Miller wins Captain Redbeard seeds.
Go.
Darren Miller wins Captain Redbeard seeds. We got one more.
We do?
We do 2 a day, man.
Oh.
You jumping the gun, brother.
I did.
He's anxious. He's got places to be.
Not really.
One more Captain Redbeard.
Congratulations, guys.
Lloyd, that wheel was for a competition we held a few weeks ago, and every week it gets smaller until we've given away all the Captain Redbeard seeds. This is our 3rd week doing it.
It is.
That's our 6th set of seeds. We have one more week to do it next week. All right. Spin it, brother.
Come on, Jason Adams. I don't even know that dude. That's just who I'm rooting for on there.
Paul Parrish, you win Captain Redbeard seeds. Now, the only way that we're going to keep going on this is if we're not able to get a hold of some of these winners on the Captain Redbeard, that is. So, right on, everybody. You know what? Been a great show. It has been a great show. I'm hoarse, man. Next week, we're going to talk about choosing genetics.
Ooh, that's going to be a good
Oh,
one.
no. We're going to talk about grow style.
Grow medium.
Yeah, what kind of medium? What's your grow style going to be? We're going to talk about all kinds of different grow styles. And I think that's what we're going to do is we're just going to bring a little bit of ground floor education on each grow style. And we're going to rate difficult to easy with that, and cost effective to expensive, because believe it or not, everyone who starts growing their own cannabis is not broke. Okay, there are some people out there that got plenty of cash to throw into a grow, and if you do, we want to be able to guide you in how you spend it the best. So, I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've got hired and somebody says, hey, Big V, I want you to be my grow coach. So we get them hooked up on the program, and the first thing I do, do you have any equipment already? Yeah, I bought a bunch of stuff off the internet, not quite sure what to do. This happens. And I go, it happened with Russ, okay? I go over there, and he's got some stuff, and then I'm like, okay, get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that. You need this, this, and this, and this. And so because they've already bought stuff, and they bought stuff they either didn't need, so they need to just take it back, and, and they wasted money in certain areas that they didn't need to or whatever. So I want to kind of try to let you know what to do, and guide you through the steps of making your decision on how you're going to grow. Look, I'm an organic guy, okay? A lot of people think that I'm an organic grower, so I turn my nose up or snob away from hydroponics. But you know what? I don't hate on hydroponics. I grew hydroponics. I just get better. I get better results out of soil, out of organic soil. I do. You might not. You might get better results out of hydroponics. There have been more than one people that I have gotten their hydro grow straightened out because they were in it and they were all fucked up in it and couldn't figure out what to do. And I get in there with a few 3-4 hours of consulting, get in there, straighten their grow out, and now they're producing high quality cannabis that they can be proud of. So, there are some little tricks that you just don't learn overnight. You can't read in books. So, but yeah, we're going to go through a lot of that next week and start figuring out, hopefully help you guys figure out what kind of grow style you want to have. So, you know what, guys? I told you guys we just weren't going to be able to do this show in an hour, dude.
No, never can.
I mean, it just always, we struggled with that so much before. So, but you know what, everybody? We're going to dab out. So,
I done forgot my dab.
You forgot dabbing,
Actually,
man.
I was gonna clean it, and I forgot to bring it back.
This guy here, that's what I love about him, man. He dances to the beat of his own drum. Sometimes it's not.
Still a little bit of that from me again.
Yeah, man, take it all. So, yabba dabba do, everybody.
Oh, I was gonna say, someone
What?
asked about how to get on the wheel from YouTube. YouTube's gonna have an upcoming giveaway. It's gonna include these.
That's part of the reason we do the trivia too, is to include the YouTube.
Yeah. You know what? Next week we're going to do a better job, Elijah, because it is hard for you to get on the wheel if you're not on our Facebook. Because Facebook is where we do all that at, because there's really no way for us to even initiate that on the YouTube channel.
Yep, it gets really challenging.
So, yabba dabba do, everybody. Been a blast.
Yes.
We'll see you guys next week. Peace out, everybody. Stay lifted.
Go out and enjoy this day.
Later.
Yes, it's beautiful if you're where we're at.
Right? All right, later.
House outlaws, cannabis cowboys, raised down south, but his bag was born in California. Recreational, it feels sensational. Everything sold, I just re-upped a couple days ago. 4-wheelers swerving through the mud, feel like we bull riding. Clientele chirping all night until the sun rising. Catch me burning purple flowers, posted at the farm, grinding hard. Then I do the same shit again tomorrow. When I wake up in the morning, every day is 420. Marijuana connoisseur, I should record in the dispensary. Hustler and the father, so I gotta move correctly.